Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon of FM, and here are our top stories. 5 are killed and 35 injured in suicide bombing at Maiduguri Mosque. Tinubu greets Nigerians and reaffirms commitments to religious freedom in Christmas message. More bad news for the health sector as Nigerian nurses practicing in the UK hit over 16,000. NLC to reject new tax laws over alleged political manipulation. On the international scene, European nations and Canada decries Israel's new and illegal West Bank settlement. And in sport, Amad Diallo strikes to give AFCON holders Ivory Coast winning start. Those are our top stories. Details coming up now. We begin the world news at 12 with sad news that at least 5 people were killed while 35 others sustained injuries following an explosion at a mosque located within Gamburu Market, Maiduguri, Borno State. The Borno State Police Command confirmed the incident in a press release on Wednesday, stating that it received a report of an IED explosion on December 24, 2025 at about 18 hours GMT at Al-Adum Jumat Mosque located within Gamburu Market, Maiduguri during prayers. The press release was signed by the Police Public Relations Officer ASP Nahum Kenneth Dasso on behalf of the Borno State Police Command and dated December 24, 2025. According to the statement, the police said the affected area has been cordoned off to ensure public safety and facilitate emergency operations shortly after the explosion. The command disclosed that its response was carried out under the leadership of the Commissioner of Police. On the number of casualties, the police stated that 5 persons lost their lives, while 35 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. It added that the injured victims have been evacuated to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital and the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri for medical treatment. The police further said early findings point to suicide attack. The statement also confirmed continued security operations around the scene. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has condemned Wednesday's bomb explosion at a mosque in Maiduguri, Borno State, describing the incident as unacceptable. The opposition party, in a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary Ini Ememobong, said the administration of President Bola Tinubu has failed woefully in protecting the lives and property of Nigerians. He says the news of an explosion at a mosque in Gamburu Market, Maiduguri, is another sad reminder of the rising insecurity that has become the unfortunate contemporary reality Nigerians face. According to the statement, and I quote, "The irreducible minimum the government should offer its people is the protection of lives and property. This administration has failed woefully in this respect and should rise to the occasion rather than resort to rhetoric and playing politics with security." End of quote. The PDP commiserates with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the attack, noting that no one should lose their life while worshipping God. The party warned that if attacks on places of worship continue unchecked, they will not only violate the constitutional right of Nigerians to freely practice their faith, but also create an atmosphere of fear that threatens the fabric of the country's religious society. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents detonated an improvised explosive device IED at the Jumat Mosque in Gamburu Ward around the customs area in the heart of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, on Wednesday. The incident occurred at about 6:10 p.m., less than 12 hours before Christmas, as Muslim worshippers were observing the Maghrib prayer. In the same vein, President Bola Tinubu has renewed his pledge to safeguard religious freedom across Nigeria, assuring citizens that his administration is firmly committed to protecting people of all faiths from violence and discrimination. He emphasized that maintaining national security, unity and stability remains one of the government's foremost responsibilities. In his 2025 Christmas goodwill message delivered on Wednesday, the president stressed that his government will continue to uphold the constitutional rights of Nigerians to live peacefully, practice their faith freely, and pursue their goals without fear. He noted that every citizen, irrespective of religion or ethnic background, deserves safety, dignity, and equal protection under the law. The president noted that since taking office in 2023, his administration has continually assured Nigerians of its unwavering resolve to protect the country's security, cohesion, and stability. He said these commitments remains fully grounded in faith in God and loyalty to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Tinubu cautioned that no citizens should face persecution or hardship for expressing or practicing their religious beliefs, stressing that devotion to God and compassion for humanity are common principles shared by all major faiths and should serve as a unified force to the nation. He further revealed that over the course of the year, he has held consultations with leaders of Nigeria's principal religious groups in response to growing concerns about intolerance and insecurity. According to him, these engagements will be strengthened to deepen cooperation between the government and faith-based institutions in preventing conflict and fostering peaceful coexistence. Extending Christmas greetings to Christians in Nigeria and across the globe, the president offered prayers for lasting peace in the country, particularly among communities of different religious beliefs. Not fewer than 16,156 Nigerian trained nurses and midwives have been licensed to practice in the United Kingdom between 2017 and September 30, 2025. This figure is based on the latest data from the UK's Nursing and Midwifery Council register. The figure highlights a significant trend in the brain drain of the healthcare workforce trained in Nigeria, a trend now known as Japa, seeing skilled professionals leaving for countries that offer better remuneration, career advancement, and working conditions. The NMC is the regulatory body in the UK responsible for registering qualified professionals and investigating concerns related to nurses, midwives, and nursing associations. As of March 31, 2025, the number of Nigerian trained nurses was 15,421, representing a 4.8% rise over the 6 months. The report released in March showed that Nigeria ranked as the third highest source of foreign trained nurses in the UK, behind the Philippines and India. It also noted that a decline in international recruitment was observed across countries, including the top 3: India, the Philippines, and Nigeria. The report added that while the number of UK-educated professionals joining the NMC register has continued to increase, the pace has been too slow to compensate for the drop in international recruitment. As a result, overall register growth has slowed in the past year. Also, the 2025 Nigeria Health Statistics Report released by the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare in November showed that a total of 43,221 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and medical laboratory scientists left the country between 2023 and 2024. The report revealed that as of 2024, over 23,000 Nigerian nurses and midwives migrated abroad, with the preferred destinations being United States with 8,613, the United Kingdom with 7,463, Canada with 5,603, Saudi Arabia with 1,231, and Ireland with 989. Ahead of the January 1, 2026 implementation of the federal government's new tax reforms, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has vowed to reject any tax system it describes as distorted, falsified, or driven by political manipulation. The NLC warned that any tax law formulated and passed without the active inclusion of workers would amount to an unjust tax regime. NLC President Joe Ajero stated these in his Christmas message, advising the government to take time to develop tax laws that are broadly co-created and owned by stakeholders rather than rushing into legislation riddled with errors and political interference. Ajero emphasized the importance of social justice, stressing that all citizens must have access to dignity, quality healthcare, and education. He also called for greater quality for workers, noting that labor must be justly rewarded, workers' rights respected, and workplaces made safe. He further advocated for a secure nation where lives and property are protected and citizens can conduct their legitimate businesses without fear or intimidation. While urging Nigerians to embrace love during the festive season, Ajero said citizens must first demonstrate love for themselves by confronting national challenges head on. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll head into the news analysis segment with Ayo Osho, a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. If you're just tuning in, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Joining me to help analyze our news item is Ayo Osho, a legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. Barrister Osho, thank you very much for joining us on the news at 12.
Customers of the season, viewers, listeners, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, we have to start our analysis with sad news as yesterday at 6 p.m. There was a suicide bombing at a Maiduguri Mosque. It looks like Boko Haram insurgents, bandits, herdsmen. They're not relenting in trying to make sure they destroy this country and bring Nigeria to a standstill. One would have expected there to be a break, but looks like they've continued unabated, and the federal governments have no answer for these people whatsoever. What's your thoughts on this?
The Boko Haram has been there for quite a while, starting with from the time of Yarabia. When the late founder Yusuf, was killed after the military men arrested him. The thing has been there. But the thing is that terrorism or global jihad, is a universal phenomenon. We still have it in Syria. Even after Syria, Al-Julani became president of Syria. Because we have the ISIS, the Islamic international group, you understand, Islamic State. Then we have the ISWA, you understand, who they claim is Islamic State in Nigeria. We have Al-Qaeda. So we have all these extremists all over the world. And Boko Haram too, has been here, is unfortunate. These are extremist, jihadist Islams. Which looks critically don't represent majority, of Muslims. But the thing is, from an analysis, the jihadists in the world, in the midst of the Muslim community, they are just about maybe some 13%. You understand that when you look at the population of Muslims in the world, about 2 billion or thereabout. If you look at 10% of 2 billion, that's a large population. That's a large population. So it's a very, very serious issue.
I mean, it's a small group of Islamic extremists making a whole lot of noise, giving the Islamic community a bad name.
But the thing is that you can no longer call it a small group. You understand? You can't call it a small group again. By virtue of the numbers. Nigeria is about 230 million people, I believe. Now, what is 10% of 230 million? 23 million. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a large population. America has started striking Syria again because members of the ISIS killed American troops. You understand? So it's a universal thing. But now you made a point. You say that the government cannot do anything. But that I will disagree. I will disagree on that. Because right now, in the present administration, even in the previous administration, going way back to the time of former President Jonathan, he made a statement, a profound statement, that members of Boko Haram were in his administration. And recent events are making this thing very clear to us. Take the Minister of State for Defense, Matawale, former governor of Forest. They have been implicated. Babuni Sharif. You understand? So these people are there.
So many politicians too.
Yes. Okay. So some of these northern politicians, they fund terrorism. They are part of the terror network. This is obvious. It's no longer a mystery. They are part of the mix. Look at that President Yusuf the other day. Look at Sheikh Mohammed Gumi saying that we should put funds in the national budget to settle bandits. But I can't President Tinubu for one and the federal government of Nigeria. They've clearly defined, which you find very difficult to discuss under Buhari. For him to name Boko Haram the terrorist group was so difficult for him. While he prescribed IPOB and called IPOB a terror group. But right now, whether
even the President Tinubu administration, it took foreign intervention for him to finally
exactly. But the thing is that you realize one thing: the man himself, at the head of affairs in Nigeria, is incapacitated. You understand what I'm trying to say? These people are in government. They are not only in government; they are in power. You understand? They are in power. If you look at, if President Jonathan had said that he had Boko Haram members in his cabinet, is that not enough to ground this nation to a halt? For us to even stop and have a rethink, have a national conference on terror. You understand what I'm saying? So, but we thank God, I thank God as a person, that President Donald Trump and his team, they are now working together with the Nigerian government, mapping out the areas where these terrorists hold sway. I know these people like that, we must discountenance them. If they want to stay in the midst of these civilized people, let them stay, or they go and join Boko Haram in the forest. Let Sheikh Gumi go and join the bandits in the forest. You know, this is a time of crisis, and we must know where everyone is standing. You know, we can't prevaricate. It's either you are with us or you are against us. That's the attitude. That's what former President Bush Jr. said after the 9/11 attack. You cannot stand in between. You can't stand in between. So President Tinubu must step up. He must step up with the aid of the American intelligence and wipe out terrorism. No excuses at all.
Hopefully, with more pressure from the international community, he will release that much talked about list of terrorism financiers that seem to have disappeared out of.
No, the list is in the public domain. In the public domain.
But what we keep hearing is speculations and accusations and counter.
There are several lists.
We can't exactly call that.
No. There's a common list, and these people have been jailed. You understand? There's a list.
I don't know of any list.
No. There is from Dubai, from UAE, somewhere like that.
Yes, we know.
I thought of these people.
We know there is a list. But,
yes.
But the federal government have been shielding allegedly this list and the persons that are daring. The only way we know we've been hearing one or two persons from that list is based on confessions and the interviews, like the interview we had on Sunday or Monday, where Matawale was implicated. It's situations like this, and of course the interview that Terji had like a week ago, where you implicated.
Yes, implicated. Yes,
Yes,
so some of those governments.
exactly.
Yes.
So it's usually in interviews like that, bombshell interviews like these, that we get to hear some of these names. But I mean, they are still allegedly. The federal government never come out to say anything about them if they are true.
Under Buhari, a list was submitted to the former Attorney General of the Federation.
We know that.
You see, from that list, some of those people, I think they have been jailed. These were people, they were collecting funds, raising funds for Boko Haram. You understand? That list, some of them have been jailed. Some of them have been jailed.
Do you have privy to those information of some?
That is in public. That one, yes, that is in public domain. I saw it. You see, that list was sent to former Attorney General, and the government requested. I'm coming, Malami. You see, the federal government requested.
They say Malami is being questioned.
I still feel that they requested him about that list. Malami requested that those people should be repatriated to Nigeria. But they were not repatriated to Nigeria because they breached the law of the UAE by raising funds for terror within that country. One was sentenced to 10 years, others some to 25 years, etc. You know, but right now, the list America is asking for, you know, America, that is Central Intelligence Agency, they have access all over the world. You see, that list that America is asking for Nigeria, America has it. But based on the limitations of the American law, you know, America cannot publish that list. Because, you know, that list has to go to the Congress. You know why? The essence of the list and the confirmation of the people on the list is that their assets can be frozen. That is it. So it has legal connotations to it. But whatever the case may be, the ball is in the court of the president to officially get that list out. But even in Nigeria also, if you give out that list and you cannot back it up, that is defamatory. You understand that? Yes.
For the federal government has, information we have. But
they need to confirm it. It has to be confirmed. You know, if you say it's on that list,
all the necessary information. I mean, the list, we can't just have a list allegedly, you know, without confirmation, without a proof to back it up.
Okay.
So that's how we know there is a list.
Yes, okay.
Because there are concrete proof to back that these people are actually financing terrorism in Nigeria.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, now they mention accounts. So Nigerians having 300 accounts within 11 banks. Billions of naira kept in these accounts. You understand what I'm saying? So we know all these things. But you see, as a lawyer too, there was a time the CBN briefed us. We were able to freeze some accounts. But these accounts have no issue with terrorism. They were actually on textile.
Okay.
Because textiles have been banned. So we froze this account. The brief was from the CBN. And these guys never came back to collect their money.
Okay.
You understand? So if those accounts are probably further probed, they may even be linked to terror. You know, how can we freeze so much of your money? I never even come out to fight it. So then, like it has been said now, all these accounts, you know, circulated. Some people are in 300 accounts, etc., with billions of naira in them, millions of naira in them. It is now incumbent upon the present Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, to work on these things, because the searchlight is on Nigeria, and unlike America, the pressure is all on this country. Some of our senior officials in Nigeria have been banned. You understand? So the pressure should continue to be mounted on this country, because we cannot continue to subject our sovereignty to terrorists and bandits. How can Nigerians be living in IDP camps within this country? You know, it is totally unconscionable. It is not acceptable. How can I be a Nigerian and I'm not living in my land because of foreign elements are pumping money into the hands of Nigerian terrorists in the name of expanding a particular religion? Because you know these things, that most of these funds, they come from Qatar. Qatar is a country of less than 500,000 people. But Qatar is the headquarters of Hamas, of the Islamic Brotherhood. These are facts in public domain.
Okay.
And they believe in the ancient medieval, Islam of an international caliphate. And that is what they are pursuing.
So, we've always known the goal of Boko Haram in Nigeria, as you've just rightly mentioned, to create a caliphate in Nigeria and to kill anyone, whatever means necessary, whichever means necessary rather, that does not believe in their extremist brand of Islam, and that's they've killed Christians and Muslims.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, like we've always known that that's their MO, and then obviously, after they were defeated briefly by the government of that time, they metamorphosed into different groups, splinter groups of bandits and all that, and then it became more like them attacking Christian communities and killings. But be it as it may, the world, as it were, not just Nigerians, have been divided in this, that Christian genocide in Nigeria, which means the deliberate killing of Christians in Nigeria, and you have some part of the world that think, that insist that there's a whole lot of killings in Nigeria. There's a genocide going on in Nigeria of different, taking different forms and facets, and just tagging it a Christian genocide is it's kind of belittling the severity of the killings going on in Nigeria. Now, this particular explosion is in a mosque in in Maiduguri, rather, sorry. And
yes.
And it would be naive of me to think this will change the narrative of a Christian genocide in Nigeria. But do you think this will at least make some people rethink about the Christian genocide in Nigeria? Or that, everybody's been killed, Christians or Muslims, irrespective of the number of Christians or number of Muslims being killed?
Well, the truth is, there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand? Mathematically, you know that a fraction is not the same thing as the whole. But a fraction of a number is a part of the whole. You understand? Now, the Christian genocide primarily is in the Middle Belt. Talk about Plateau and Benue State and Kogi. Benue in particular. Some Christians in Benue have been living in internally displaced people's camps,
especially the farmers,
for 2 years. What has happened to their land? They have been displaced in their nation, in their home, the homes that preceded the nation called Nigeria. They have been displaced. That is genocide. Elementary definition of genocide. Killing of a group, religious group, you understand, tribe or ethnicity. That has been, and this is specific to the Fulani militia.
Okay.
You understand? Now, the Northwest, Boko Haram, they are mostly Kanuri people. They are not Fulani people. You understand? So they are primarily jihadists. Now, what is Boko Haram? Boko means Western education. Haram means forbidden. Western education is forbidden. Western education is evil. That is pure jihadist. You understand? Now, in Nasarawa, Plateau, and Benue, we are primarily Fulanis. But these Fulanis in these areas, they were there when the British came. Madam Fodo had tried to bring jihad to Plateau State and Benue State. He didn't succeed. Those people resisted him. So those areas were not under his emirate. They have no alias. You understand? So Islam, as per the view of Madam Fodo, never conquered those areas. When the British came, they actually appointed some of these Fulanis as kings. I mean, some areas there on the fringes of that area, but they never conquered that area. So they are now using the apparatus of the Nigerian state to get land. I recall the former governor of Bauchi State who actually invited Fulani from outside Nigeria to come into Nigeria to come and take over parts of Nigeria. And I also recall in the book written by Sir Ahmadu Bello in 1962, that's the autobiography, it's titled My Life, page 14 or 15 thereabout. He spoke about the Fulani prophecy, that the Fulani will do the Al-Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. This is public record. The book is there for anybody to read. Because of the prophecy, I now narrated how they wanted to conquer Ibadan, how Ibadan soldiers stopped them. So if a collective group have a common prophecy, it's like a myth, it's a belief. You know, as already I said, Nigeria is a property. So we should contextualize it historically, grammatically, and factually.
Okay, but
so that, you know, so that's that. So these groups, they differ in their objective, but they have a common goal. The first common goal is that Christians can be eliminated. That is possible. You know, then we also have in the northwest, Fulanis and Hausas, they have issues there. You know, Katsina and those areas, they have the Fulanis permanently and the Hausas. That's another issue. It's a small civil war going on in Nigeria. The whole population of Fulani in the north, they produce most of the governors, all the perks of office, they enjoy it, at the detriment of the Hausa people. So that's a small civil war going on over there between the Fulanis and the Hausa communities.
Okay, because of time, let's go straight to the second topic for discussion, where bad news, more bad news actually, for Nigeria's health sector, as no fewer than 16,156 Nigerian trained nurses and midwives have been licensed to practice in the United Kingdom between 2017 and September 30, 2025. And one begins to wonder, what is the federal government doing to stop this brain drain, especially in the health sector? This is just terrible.
Well, the season of good tidings to mankind is Christmas season.
Well,
the real good news actually.
A lot of Nigerians will say there's nothing good about it.
No. We should focus properly. I'm a Christian, as a thank God for the word of the Lord Jesus Christ. You know, we are celebrating the greatest gift God has ever given to man on earth. Now, and that's the good news. Now,
well,
on the issue,
it won't be exactly good news for sick people that would need medical attention from a lot of these health practitioners, and they're not available.
Okay. So let's now address this issue. On the nurses, doctors, and medical professionals exiting this nation, it is just natural.
No,
you know, having been to school, look, having been to school, no, wait. The grass is always greener on the other side. You know, and if they are not being well paid, you understand, they will go elsewhere. It's just like they will go elsewhere. You are a media practitioner. If tomorrow I have the need to establish a media place, and offer you something better, won't you come over? If you know, that is just the way it is.
No,
they have to go out. No, we focus on the health practitioners.
But this is
look. What about other practitioners? Carpenters are going out. Bricklayers are going out. Canada is calling for these people. Wait. Just wait. You see, the health practitioners too. They are human beings. There is a time I had an operation at Lasut. You know, do you know that while they were conducting that operation on me, I was like a guinea pig. The doctors were complaining about their own problems. You understand? I'm telling you, the consultant, they were talking about their own problems. One of them was very sure about his deployment status with lawsuit. So I just stayed there. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing, look at, I read something about the governor of Imo State. What he's doing for the doctors in Imo State. Imo State doctors, I believe from that news report, are the highest paid doctors in Nigeria. They are being paid higher than what is recommended.
And that's just
Imo State. Yes. So Imo State is being done by the APC. It's being done by the APC. So let the federal government take a cue from that and do the same thing. You see, if we are complaining that these political prisoners are going out, it's just futile. We should just make sure we create the conducive environment for them to stay within the nation. That's the only thing I can say. You understand? That's the only plea I can offer.
I know.
Otherwise, they have freedom. They have freedom of labor. They have freedom to move.
I know lots of Nigerians that would rather be in Nigeria.
Yes, if the environment is conducive.
So
yes.
It is the unconducive environment now that we're talking about here. I mean, 16,156, and these are just nurses. I mean, you need to hear the stories of the doctors and surgeons, the anesthetists that are leaving the country. It's just preposterous, actually.
It is. But we just need to do the needful thing. Make sure that the environment is conducive. Even the hospitals, do we have enough equipment to take care of the sick? Do we invest in these areas? And in this regard, you see, look,
part of the complaint. In this
regard, let us, you see, because look, there are constituency allowances being received by our senators, our members of House of Rep, you understand? Maybe local government chairman and etc. So even these, what we call that for security allowance that people are not accounting for. These things in order parity should be properly used, because health is part of security. A man who has malaria maybe twice a month, he cannot produce economically. We are losing man hours. So some of these money is being given to these people for constituency allowance, and they should use that money, to help the medical facilities.
And those are just the money coming in from
yes, billions.
What about the different health grants that have been coming in from outside the country? I mean, we hear some of these grants in the billions.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Most popularly, Bill Gates even have a health foundation in Nigeria, and that's one out of many. And one begins to wonder, those health grants,
yes.
we've not talked about the money being buried. You're talking
those ones.
Where are the monies?
Those ones are like specific epidemics. You understand, like things like an epidemic, and etc.
It is still
the basic medical needs.
Medical practitioners that will have to attend to these people.
Yes.
Or
those ones that are like more like vaccines, or some other things close to vaccines or antiretroviral stuff. But we talk about basic medical care. You understand, those basic medical care, the equipment must be procured, and monies must be invested in those areas. Those are basic things. We're not even talking about major things, the basic things. So the House of Assemblies of States, the House of Rep, the Senate, then the executive, you need to declare an emergency in the medical sector in Nigeria. And I don't think it will take Donald Trump to do that. Yes. Except we want to call Donald Trump again.
I mean, despite the interruption from USAID, I mean,
yes.
Last week there was actually billions of dollars memorandum of understanding signed between the U.S. government and Nigeria. to fund Christian health, clinics in Nigeria.
Christian health
Yes, clinics in
for
Nigeria.
Christians.
Yes,
Okay.
there are several, no, not yet. There are several faith-based clinics in Nigeria, and of course,
Okay.
yes, and according to the statistics, if I get that correctly, I think there are about 96,000 Christian clinics in Nigeria. That was just signed out 1 or 2 weeks ago.
And that is good.
And
All the money.
if you go to those clinics, you won't even see basic malaria drug in those clinics.
Really?
It's just
That is corruption. That is part of the vicious circle. If you are talking about that vicious circle, like I watch one of these American missionaries, and he was talking about using it, and he made some specific allegations even against the American by saying that some of the things delivered to local governments were not getting to the people. But he said their own NGO, they go directly to the people to deliver, the reliefs to those people. So meaning that the United States should also cooperate with Nigerian government officials to make sure that whatever is brought to Nigeria is being properly delivered to the people. But should should we actually be dependent on it at our age with our resources at this juncture in time? It is ridiculous, shameful, and painful also.
Unfortunately, we have to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So,
make sure you have a Merry Christmas. Forget all this wahala of this and that. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Don't give yourself hypertension.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Ayo Shaw, legal practitioner and current affairs analyst. And for a quick look at what's happening outside Nigeria, 14 countries, including Britain, Canada, Denmark, and France, have condemned Israel's approval of 19 new settlements in the occupied West Bank, saying the move was illegal and jeopardized the Gaza ceasefire and long-term peace and security across the region. The country said Israel's actions violate international law and risks undermining the fragile truce in Gaza as mediators work to implement the second phase of the ceasefire in a war that has seen Israeli forces kill almost 71,000 Palestinians. Israel hit back on Thursday, calling the criticism discriminatory. Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said foreign government will not restrict the rights of Jews to live in the land of Israel, and any such call is morally wrong and discriminatory against Jews. End of quote. On Sunday, Israel's far-right On Sunday, Israel's far-right-wing finance minister Bezalel Smotrich announced that authorities had greenlit the settlement plan, explicitly saying that the decision was aimed at preventing the establishment of a future Palestinian state. And finally, in our sports news, Manchester United winger Amad Diallo scored as Ivory Coast began their Africa Cup of Nations AFCON title defense in a 1-0 victory over Mozambique in Marrakesh on Wednesday. Diallo struck after 49 minutes of a Group A match. The three-time champions dominated against opponents 60 places lower in the world rankings. Ivory Coast, who will face Cameroon and Gabon in their other group matches, are aiming to become the first nation since Egypt in 2010 to successfully defend the premier African football title. Defeat prolonged Mozambican dreams of an AFCON victory. They have drawn 4 matches and lost 12 since their 1986 debut. Cameroon also opened their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations campaign with a narrow 1-0 win over Gabon in the same Group F match played at the Adria Stadium in Agadir on Wednesday night. Karl Etta Young scored the only goal of the game just a few minutes after kickoff. with the Indomitable Lions joining Ivory Coast on 3 points at the top of the table. The Panthers put up a battling display, including a surprise appearance off the bench for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was reportedly unavailable due to injury, but they were unavailable to get the better of the they were unable to get the better of the 5-time Afghan champions. And just before we go, here again are our top stories. 5 killed, 35 injured in suicide bombing at Maiduguri Mosque. Tinubu greets Nigerians, reaffirms commitment to religious freedom in Christmas message. More bad news to health sector as Nigerian nurses practicing in UK hit over 16,000. NLC to reject new tax laws over alleged political manipulation. Outside Nigeria, European nations and Canada decry Israel's new and illegal West Bank settlement. And in sport, Ahmad Diallo strikes to give AFCON holders Ivory Coast winning start. And that's the world news at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon of FM. Do follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Merry Christmas to you.